here, now I'm awoken. Just this morning, the side of me open, and I never noticed. We are the future, ride for the culture. Put my dirty clothes on the lines of a notebook. Never hide from exposure, show you nobody is unbroken.
Remember my name, you see my face every breath that you take. Just when you think I was torn down in flames, I'm born again. All of my dark days are gone. You will remember. Yeah, you will remember. Yeah, you will remember. You will remember. Yeah.
I'm unstoppable. Came too far to be barred by an obstacle. That's not an optional. What they call hard is like riding a bicycle. I'm phenomenal. Feeling like I could do what a mythological guy could do. Power is optimal. It's my time to make impossible and the possible.
Remember my name. You see my face every breath that you take. Just when you think I was torn down in flames, I'm born again. All of my dark days are gone. You will remember. You will remember. Yeah, you will remember. You will remember. Yeah. I'm born again. I'm born again. All of my dark days are gone. Remember my name. You see my face every breath that you take. Just when you think I was torn down in flames, I'm born again. All of my dark days are gone. You will remember. You will remember. Yeah, you will remember. You will remember. Yeah. Take me to the front line. Better get your head right. You ain't gonna take my pride away. Take me to the front line. Put me in the limelight. You ain't gonna take my shine away. Take my shine away. Take me to the front line. Better get your head right. You ain't gonna take my pride away. Take me to the front line. Put me in the limelight. You
know the boys are playing checkers.
Let's get as many points as we can. It all starts right here. Are you ready?
And the green flag is in the air. Here they come, storming to turn one. This is incredible. Can he get it done?
The grandstands are going wild.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Boys.
Dirt racing fans, and welcome to our second race of the day, our third qualifying session for our 2026 iRacing Crandon Championship presented by Track Racer. Brody Descher in the Combat Clean Sim Racing EPI machine was able to recover from his dismal start yesterday, but the top step of the podium is still open for this Saturday, and the fireworks are brightest at night, and this week is far from over. My name is Keenan Kuzin, coming to you from the iRacing studio, and joining me this evening is somebody very familiar with big trucks on dirt. That's Ryan Vargas. Ryan, it's been a long week here for us, but your first time up here in the booth. We got a little bit to watch a little bit of what's been going on before getting into tonight. You're in for a little bit of a treat, my friend.
I was going to say, I'm more used to being on here talking about cars going in circles or maybe a couple squiggles here and there, but now we're throwing jumps, we're throwing dirt, we're throwing mud, we're throwing chaos into the mix, so I'm very excited for what we got in store tonight.
Yeah, it's been an action-packed week so far. Again, Brody Descher getting the win this morning in the AM split. Obviously, if you watched last night, he was one of the trucks that got turned around. Really, really good start to his campaign. Dane Culver finally getting some points. You're one of your defending champions from 2024, so nice to see him as well on the podium. But we've got a whole lot more in store for you this evening as we take another look at our special events calendar just for the fall months here. Again, Crandon here of August 25th to 30th, but a lot more on that schedule. We got the Brit Car 24-hour making its triumphant debut here on the iRacing service. Bathurst 1000 in the beginning of October, and the iRacing Formula Ford 1600 or Formula 4 1600 Festival at the end of October, and a lot more in between. So this is the Dirt Road special event. It is the pinnacle of this form of racing on the iRacing service, but lots more to come in terms of our special events calendar.
And one of the things that we've been talking about all weekend long is just that there's morning sessions, midday sessions, and all that. Getting into the evening, we are on event number 3 of the week. We had a session earlier this morning, and then one last night. So that means we have 6 more events following this one, Keenan. It is an absolute gauntlet if you want to set yourself up for a good position for Saturday's main events.
One of the most unique things about Crandon as a special event, Ryan, is that there's so much that happens throughout the week. Storylines develop, beef is brewed, and we've already seen that already this week. And we're only 2 races in. We still got a long way to go, as there is so much to this event. Very unique event format, Ryan.
Absolutely, and this is the format right here. So right now we're in the middle of the qualifying races. This is open to all drivers with a dirt road Class D 4.0 safety rating. There are 2 time slots per day, one at 11 a.m. Eastern and one at 9 p.m. Eastern. Drivers compete to earn points during the week, and the points are scored by the finishing position and strength of field. Then here's the other thing. You don't have to run these qualifying races, right? You could just jump right into Saturday if you want. However, you have the same format in those first 2 segments. However, you look at those bottom 2 for the super session. The same session format for the qualifying races, so it's a little bit of a familiar ground. You're not getting anything different. However, the splits are determined by the points scored, then your dirt road rating. So if you've been running in these races all week, congratulations. You've earned those points, you've earned a better starting slot, you've earned a better split. If you haven't, well, then that just falls back on your iRating. Similar to qualifying for the Indy 500 qualifying and so on and so forth. So this isn't an uncommon format, but this is a format that we can really lean on and know that is tried and true there, Keenan.
Something that is unique, very unique, is the location we are at this week. It is Crandon International Raceway in Crandon, Wisconsin, the big house. This is the Daytona Speedway of short course racing in North America, opened in 1970, 56 years in business. They'll be celebrating that anniversary next week with their real-life event. If you're in the Wisconsin area, I implore you to head down to Crandon to be able to see the big house in person. Big corners to note, of course, that Land Rush start, we'll talk about that a little bit more later, but Potawatomi turn number 1, gravel pit, the Polaris gravel pit, and Cowboy hairpin. And Ryan, you're familiar with some fast trucks, but this is a little bit different.
Absolutely. This 4-wheel drive 410 cubic inch V8 pushes up to 900 horsepower, and it also is controlled by a 6-speed sequential transmission. And you're going to need those 900 ponies to push around 4,100 pounds of pure muscle, pure beefy, absolute craziness that this vehicle puts down. Up to 20 inches of travel, Keenan. These things are absolutely insane, and no electronic assist, no ABS, none of that funny stuff. This is just pure, unadulterated power to the tires.
Yeah, it's driver mods only, as you've been seeing the best of the best rise to the top this week, as we'll take a look at what we've already seen. This was your only session, your evening session on Tuesday. A lot of familiar names already out there. We saw Sean Winkler, Dane Culver, again, Brody Descher. We thought maybe going to start off calm. Usually the Tuesday start calm. As you can see, this was anything but calm.
Well, and the thing is, in pre-show, I was like, wow, this is a big wreck. And you told me, oh, Ryan, this is nothing. This is tame. This is what you come to expect from Crandon here. And you see McFarland right there, milling a big slider going up into the lead there. But just, that's one of the beautiful things about Crandon. I've been able to hop on the sim and run this, whether it's in the Pro 2 or the Pro 4s. It's such a technical, such a physical racetrack. And you see right there, Dane Culver in the number 8 machine right there, getting it done.
And then in our main race, again, Dane just not getting the start. There's going to be something that a theme this last 2 races. And right there in that Channel 199 sim racing truck, that's going to be one of the moves of the race. Evan McFarland being able to take the top step of the podium. He's your first official winner of our Crandon Championship this week in terms of our qualifying races. But took a lot. Keep an eye on these street trucks, by the way. All's calm on the Western Front right now. Just give it a minute.
Yeah, I can only imagine it only gets worse. Yeah, by the way, get out of my way. I'm coming through here, and you see right there, we check in with them. We got one into the pole, one barrel rolling off the track, over the wall. It is unadulterated chaos right here. McFarland right there getting the job done in that Channel 199 machine right there. But this is such incredible racing. It's elbows out brawl, this Land Rush, 10 wide starts. I mean, you jump right into the action. There's no such thing as easing into it, biding your time. It is a all-out brawl from the drop of the rag to the finish of each race.
And all these drivers are very, very familiar with each other. They know how to lean on each other. They know how to throw shots. And a lot of them know how to take a lick and keep on taking. Maybe not the 4 machine there. Diamond in the Argon corner. But that's the unique part of this racing, too. When you take out the fear of going to the hospital, it turns out short course racing gets a little bit more aggressive. And it's not like it was tiddlywinks to begin with.
No, and that's one of the most beautiful things about this is that you can kind of push your vehicle to the limit. You mentioned, on the sim, you have the realistic racing, but you're able to get a little bit more aggressive. You know what? Let me just dive it in there, force the issue a little bit. I can get these points, get this better starting positions, and you see right there, 3 wide over the jump here, and I can guarantee we're going to see plenty of that here tonight.
Yeah, and that was this morning. Not to take away anything from our early risers, our Europeans. Again, really, really good finish. It was down to Dane Culver, Brody Desher. If you watched our highlight packet from our first race, you'll notice that truck looks a little bit familiar. It's because these two already had a dust-up, and they put on a show for us this morning.
And one of the crazy things about this, look at this brawl. They're leaning on each other hard, but I would say it's kind of respectful. And look at that finish. That finish was less than 1/10 of a second between the two drivers there. And Keenan, these are the points. This is how it all shook out after this morning.
Yeah, so Evan McFarland, still your leader in points. He was your winner last night. That was the highest split that we had so far in terms of SOF, so he'll be able to hold on to that points lead. But look who's entered the fray now, Dane Culver. He went from nothing to 232 points, so he is now firmly in the mix. Again, you can still race regardless of where you are in points, but if you're someone like Dane, Matthew Lindy, Chase Spalding, any of these dirt road short course regulars, it's top split or nothing.
Yeah, and that's one of the most important things about doing these races throughout the week is seating yourself well for that Saturday big show, right? Like we said at the top of the show, you don't have to run these races, but if you want to have a chance at being in the big show, being right up front, making your name in the dirt road short course community, really, this is the way to do it. You gotta show up and put in the time, and these guys are absolutely doing so.
You touched on it a little bit already. All you need is a D4.0. Realistically, you can join iRacing right now, and we'll be able to see you on Saturday.
I'll do it. Let's go.
Jump into some of the cross carts. It's a rookie vehicle, almost fairly new to the service. Again, 30% off all brand new memberships right now. You can learn more at iRacing.com/membership, and maybe we'll see you on Saturday in one of those super sessions.
Absolutely. No, it's always intense racing, and it's so fun to be able to see. I follow along with a lot of buddies who hop into this. We talked about another driver, Connor Barry. I've gotten to race with him a lot on the iRacing service. He's one of those drivers who is a kind of, I wouldn't really say sim to reality. He's a little bit a reality and sim driver as we hop into qualifying right here, but just one of those drivers who bounces back and forth and utilizes the sim to not only make his name in the short course community, but also improve in real life.
I got a bone to pick with this guy because we spent all last year hyping up Connor Barry, and then he went, oh no, I'll just go race in real life instead. I'll go to the real Crandon track. What a nerd. But good to see him back. Again, Connor, somebody who's, you've always used to let him running the Slicky truck, but very familiar guy. I think he got his number too, just off chance, which is hilarious. But Connor's super active in the community. He runs leagues. He participates in leagues. Former world champion in this discipline as well, in the iRacing Short Course World Championship. So good to see him here. Another new name that's here today that hasn't raced yet. Brody Desher has come back to run another one. He's got his win from this afternoon. But the higher the SOF, Ryan, the more points you get, and the more points you get, the more chance you have of being locked in to those higher splits on Saturday.
Well, and that's the biggest thing about showing up for these races is just getting those finishes in these high SOF races, because like we talked about, it's bragging rights. It's all on the line. All the chips are on the table when it comes to Saturday, right? So making sure that you put yourself in the position to make that big show, that's going to be the biggest thing. As you check out Sean Winkler here, throwing it into the corner. I love watching these Pro 4 machines, Keenan. You rant and rave about these things. I see it all over your socials. These vehicles are just monsters, and they are just so fun to watch. Look at that, just throwing it into the corner, not a care in the world.
This racing and this community is one of iRacing's best kept secrets. It's very tight, it's very polite. Everyone just wants to have more people join. Everybody's willing to help, whether it's setup tweaking, driving theory. It's generally one of the most accepted communities in the service there is. And Sean Winkler has been one of those guys that's always been towards the top of the field, but really never got his moment in the sun until last year. You were Crandon champion from 2025, winning the PM split. Again, nothing against our Europeans and the early risers, but a lot of the best drivers are out of the west coast of North America. So this is their chance to be able to put some laps down. And speaking of former champions and people looking to redeem themselves, Dane Culver went from winning the championship in 2024 in that PM split to being a total non-factor in 2025. He's got 2 sprint wins, but is still chasing that elusive main win.
Well, we talk about Dane. We saw it a little bit in that highlight reel, right? He's not one of those guys that's not afraid to get his elbows out, right? And that's what you gotta do in some of these instances to move forward. But you're also gonna hurt some feelings along the way. You want to make sure you watch out for your fellow competitors. So I'm gonna keep my eye on Dane there and see how he goes. If we take a look at Hudson right there, just nicking the wall a little bit there. And that's gonna be one of the things you gotta watch out for. You don't want to invalidate your lap.
Yeah, just taking that big swing to be able to get the run going over the start-finish straight. That's technically not turn one. Once you watch one of the land rush starts, this all start to make a little bit more sense. But again, yeah, if you're watching this and want to join the short course community, want to join the iRacing community, new memberships are 30% off. Get on track with iRacing. Learn more at iRacing.com/membership. And again, maybe we'll see you on Saturday in one of these super sessions. There's still lots of time to be able to get yourself on track and join one of the best shows in sim racing.
And one of the things I want to express to the viewer here, you know, if you're used to watching some of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series broadcasts, you see splits between the drivers, or the gaps, I guess you could say, within a couple hundredths of a second, right? Yes, these guys are separated by a tenth and a half, 2 tenths right there, but that is not a large gap in this style of racing. A tenth? I mean, that's just a twitch of the wheel. That's a quarter of a second off the throttle that you just kind of missed a little bit. So really, if you're within that, I would say 8/10 of a second off the leader right there, Keenan, I would say rough estimate. I'd say that's a pretty tight little group right there that I'd keep my eyes on. You're not out of it if you're that far back.
Top 10 at the moment, Ryan, within 1 second. And Dane Culver, your current #1 qualifier, the fastest time this week with a 1:14.859. And that's important because the land rush start, everybody gangsta until you 10 wide, 20 trucks deep. And every position matters. You don't want to be in the middle. You don't want to be on the left. You want to be as far to the right, that inside as possible.
Well, and it looks so beautiful, so poetic until you get to this corner right here. Everybody piling in, and this is a good example of what happens when it goes wrong here. Look at this, just pounding into the outside wall. These guys, no fear. You talked about it. When you take the threat of injury out of it, the bravery goes up. These guys are a lot more antsy to get into the corner, and they don't care about that car to their left. They're just going to scooch on by.
We've seen it a little bit in that replay, but something new to this year is the dust. I've seen some screenshots from some of the drivers in some of the community discords, and you can't see a dang thing if you're 10th on back. It is generally a wall of dust. Looks like you're driving through a dust storm in a movie or something. So not only do you want to be able to survive that lap 1, turn 1 melee out of the land rush start, but just some visibility as the track starts to wear in is going to be very important as this night goes on.
And I love that iRacing has added that to the service, right? As someone who's been able to do a little bit of dirt racing, do a little bit of off-road stuff, that dust is real. That is a huge factor when you're out there competing. So as we walk right with Hadley right here, that is such a huge part of it, and making sure that you're able to get a clear view of where you're going, because there's so many times where you're out there and you're just lost.
Yeah, nice to see Hadley back. Just ended up getting caught up in basically every single incident yesterday, so wasn't able to turn a whole lot of laps, but I'm going to see if they can get a lap time in. There about 20 seconds remaining in qualifying before we're locked in for our sprint race. And just tight around Calamity Corner, and Hadley's going to come across the line, and that is going to be a 1:15.257. Not sure if that lap counted or not. That's the last lap, but anyway, might be starting towards the back. And again, this is what you missed last year in the 2025 first session, but again, 30 seconds left here in qualifying, as we do have all 19 trucks with the time on the board, and that will be Dane Culver with a 1:14.859, fastest lap of the week, and right behind him is a new one to today with the Grid 1 machine of Drake Matag. Nice to see Drake out here as well, finally running, and his teammate Connor Berry right behind him.
Well, you got Brody Dozier right there in the 4th spot, Nathan Minster in 5th, Sean Winkler in 6th, Daniel Solo in 7th, Cody Retzlaff in number 8th position, Zach Blanche in 9th, Scott Merrick, P10.
And then some other notable names here. Again, Cole Fisher, you want to see that purple truck that went for a ride in our highlight package. That's it.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
trying to be able to recover. Miles Morris went from last to 5th in this morning's race and then got a meatball, so he's looking to recover. And good old Brian Sawyer runs a lot of the rallycross leagues and stuff. Good to see him back out in a Pro 4 truck. Then Kendrick Cargill as well had some issues last night. A lot of drivers on that backside of the row ran last night and just looking to redeem themselves.
And that's one of the cool things about these sessions, the way it's all laid out. You could have a bad morning session, and you know what? Let's re-rack them. Let's get it back going and go after it again tonight.
yeah, still lots of time to be able to score those points and be able to work your way into Saturday. But the more races you have this year, the less time you're going to have. So a lot of those drivers that weren't here last night are looking to come out of the gate swinging. And again, you have a lot of heavy hitters. We'll be able to see Sean Winkler again, a really good qualifying spot for him. He's your number 1 truck defending champion. And we are getting ready to go here, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not seen the Land Rush start before, tighten up your belts and hold on tight, because we are going 10 wide. We are green with our first sprint race of the evening here in the Crandon Championship presented by Track Racer. Very, very good start so far. Little bit of argy-bargy there towards the middle. Can be some Ride Potawatomi turn number 1. Everybody fires down. Think a little, oh, we got 1 truck sideways, 2 trucks sideways, 3 trucks sideways. A carnage all over the racetrack. That's Cole Fisher upside down. That's Miles Morris pointed backwards. We had a great start yesterday, but today, total opposite. I think that's Connor Berry to the lead.
Yeah, Connor Berry moves himself into the lead. Dane falls back to the 2nd spot. Not a bad situation there. Connor Berry gets clipped and turns sideways. He holds on to it.
Brody and Dane have had nothing but problems at almost every race so far this year, and you saw it there again. Brody giving no quarter to Dane Culver. He ends up shoving the Connor Berry wide, takes the lead, but costs Connor Berry the position, and Drake Matag up to P2.
And Dane now falls back to the 4th position after being up in 2nd right there, so already bleeding spots as we get going through the corners here. Everybody just trying to find their position. You talk about the dust. Look at that. If you're one of those drivers, you're getting pelted by rocks, by dust, by mud, and you're just hoping that you can find a little bit of visibility to make your next move.
Settling down here a little bit towards the midfield. Again, we lost a couple of trucks there. I think that's Cole Fisher and Devin Ferguson. They'll be in the pit lane. Here's one of your best passing opportunities on the racetrack. Cowboy corner. Throw it in deep, be able to pull off a slider, and unfortunately not really seeing anything off the start there. But Sean Winkler, I believe, oh, that's the 5 truck of Cody Retzlaff. We saw him this morning. He got paint on about every truck that got near him. So I'm sure he's pretty happy to see a bit of smooth sailing here towards the front.
I was going to say, now that wreck, all those wrecks have happened, it's really spread this field out. I mean, honestly, this is, now if you're one of these drivers that are up in this top 5 right here, I wouldn't be surprised if you kind of just hang out a little bit. We talked about in the pre-race how you don't really have time to hang out, but when you're strung out like this, Keenan, it feels like it's the first time that you could really breathe, if you can, in these Pro 4 machines.
Yeah, I said the same thing to Joey last night, and then they knocked 5 flavors of heck out of each other. So, you see it right there. That's Cody Retzlaff to the outside. He's trying to make something happen. 3 wide, going down to Argonne corner. I believe that's Scott Merrick in the middle of everything. He's been P3 2 years in a row. He's trying to make something happen. Battles all over the racetrack as well. As they ride along board with Sean Winkler, your defending champion from your evening split. He's back down to 10th.
I think I saw him backwards in one of those incidents. I could be way wrong there. I mean, honestly, you could say that about half the field that you saw them backwards, but at this point, all you can do is just charge. Get as many positions back as possible, and frankly, the racing up front isn't over. We talk about, maybe they'll ride a little bit, and they immediately went back 3 wide. So they're definitely going to start knocking some fire out of each other, and if you're going to be in this race, you need to stay strong and keep fighting your way through, because more than likely, something's going to happen.
Yeah, I think the smart move, especially here in the sprint, this is going to set up your starting positions for the feature. So every position here matters, but the smart thing to do here in the top 3, if you're Desher, Berry, or Culver, let's get in a line, let's just not fight, build a gap so that we can fight the last couple of laps while these bozos behind us knock paint and fenders off each other. The fight for 4th is not over by a long shot of Sean Winkler to the inside. He's going to move up 1 position up to 9th. He's started from the outside of the front row both races and got caught up in every melee. As we'll take a look at the replay of the first lap, take your pick on which wreck you want to focus on here.
You know, I'm going to look at Winkler right here. Look at, he's in the middle of this hornet's nest back there. Gets shuffled all the way out. Has that truck spin in front of him, and he just gets sandwiched right there as we watch that purple truck right there. I'm taking a closer look at who that one is, but barrel rolling through there. Right there, Winkler gets T-boned, gets thrown all the way around. I think he got hit on every single corner there and just nowhere to go.
I think Cole Fisher has spent more time in the air this week than he has on the dirt, unfortunately. He's still got a chance to make it up in the main, but he will be in the pit lane as we ride along board now with Drake Matag. He is trying to hang on to 7th place again. One of those trucks that started off real hot, just got caught up in the first lap. He's in the wall, actually. Really sliding up the racetrack. Something that's different about this kind of racing, if all you're used to is asphalt, the dirt will change. The tires will wear. These trucks are going to be a little bit slidier, and they're not going to want to stop as much. You've got 4,000 pounds of weight to try to slow down.
Well, and you talk about, too, one of the things in iRacing is the dynamic track, right? So you're going to see the preferred groove move around a little bit, right? You're going to see guys dragging their right rear fender off the wall right there. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. These races are very short. This sprint race we talked about, only 6 laps. The main's only 10. So it's going to be really interesting to see how much this track evolves despite it being such a short race.
Yeah, and again, I think the time to fight is in the feature, but nobody, especially in the evening, nobody has really gotten that memo this week. I guess they're just trying to give us some great TV to watch. This big dive from Cody Retzlaff. He's going to go wide to Cowboy Corner. Flat up there, no banking. Rear tires off the track. He's not going to be able to get the run as we are dooring for, I believe that's Sean Winkler and Chase Spalding. And Chase has been in the epicenter of almost every battle that he's been a part of. That truck has been used and abused, and Sean Winkler's trying to add some blue paint to that black quarter panel.
I mean, it's just so impressive watching these guys send it over that blind jump sideways. They're jumping over this sideways, trying to set up for a pass, and it's so just intense. Right on board with Sean Winkler here as he's going hard to the inside, gonna get to the quarter panel, not gonna get it done. Really just trying to get in his head a little bit, say, hey, I'm right here. If you make a mistake, I'm ready to pounce.
Yeah, and just from another part of some stuff our viewers might be a little bit more familiar with, the bankings of the corners. You saw right there Sean taking a look to the inside, but Chase was up maybe another lane or two. He's going to be able to have that banking to fire it off the truck with a little bit more momentum and be able to protect that position. It makes it so hard to pass here at Crandon because of that outside line being viable in almost every corner as they have a little bit of contact now going into the back straight.
And you know, I can only imagine using that VR setup right there being pretty helpful, especially when you're in the middle of these tight little battles.
Now Connor Berry is approaching the rear of Brody Descher. Brody's kind of been able to scratch and claw his way to the front. He does not have a sprint win yet this event, and has been a part of every single race we've had so far. Connor Berry, again, former world champion in the dirt road discipline, as races in real life. He's got hundreds of laps here, whether it's in the sim or in real life. If you're Brody, these two are very familiar with each other, but if you're Brody, this is a worst case scenario in your mirror right now.
I was going to say, Connor Berry, whenever you see him in your mirror in one of these style of races, you're quaking in your boots a little bit, right? I've gotten to race against Connor Berry, and he's no slouch on the oval racing side as well. I've gotten to race him in a couple leagues, and a very impressive all-around driver. As we take the white flag, it's going to be interesting to see if Connor Berry can get it done.
Brody Descher hanging on to his position. We saw him defend for his life to be able to grab that win this morning against Dane Culver, but now a new opponent, a new challenger has entered the fray with Connor Berry diving down in the Cowboy Corner. Is he going to take a look? No. Actually a little bit of a shot to the rear of Brody Descher. Brody's going to go wide. Connor going to the inside. Brody doesn't quite get the run. They're going to be side by side into Potawatomi turn number 1.
Side by side going down into turn number 1 here. They're going to be lean in on each other. Can Connor Berry hold it on the top side? They make a little bit of contact. Nice, respectful racing. Gonna go side by side over this crest. Can Connor Berry clear? He's gonna barely. No, he's not.
We've been side by side for 3 quarters, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to stop now. Heading down in the Polaris gravel pit. Who's going to get your whole shot for the feature, for the main race? Who's going to win your sprint? Brody Descher. What a move by Brody. Read Connor like a book. The crisscross applesauce going down to the Calamity Corner. Can Connor do anything about it? Brody shuts him down. Unless Brody makes a mistake here, but now Brody parks it. He gets hit from behind by Dane Culver, but Brody, excellent defensive driving, hangs on to that sprint race win, barely.
That was a brilliant move by Brody right there. He got on the binders, pinned it against the inside wall. He knew that if he opened up that bottom, even half a truck length, because you know that they'll shove it in if it's just barely open. He knew if he opened it up any, that he would try and shove it in there. Didn't allow the opportunity to happen. What a brawl to the finish.
Look at every truck coming across the line. Everybody's got damage. Everybody's got dents and dings, but we're going to get the best mechanics in the world to be able to refresh those trucks here, as this is your race results for our sprint and is going to be your starting grid for our main race. There's Brody Descher getting a win this evening, or this afternoon, and a win this evening. He's 2 for 2 as Connor Berry right behind him in P2. Dane Culver, kind of a quiet race for him after the start with P3, and Scott Merritt, who's always finds himself up towards the front, just I think needs to find a little bit of extra P4. And Hudson Knight, brand new, has to run 1 session yet. Great start for him in P5.
And you look at Winkler down in the 8th spot. I know that's probably not a result that he'd want, but working your way up the grid, moving back through the trucks that you're going to be stuck behind. Really good recovery there. As we take a look at your second page here, these are the guys who unfortunately probably had the worst luck. They were probably involved in those instances. We saw Cole Fisher going for a massive barrel roll to start this race. It's to put it lightly, Keaton, it was a demo derby further back.
Yeah, that's you are the passenger at that point. It doesn't matter how many people crash in front of you. It just kind of have to. And you can't lift either, because if you lift, the cars behind you aren't lifting, and then you're just going to be the one that gets run over. So, 6 laps. That's the kind of format, the format that this racing that this format leads into. But now we're going to be working into our main race, almost double the length, 10 laps, and this is the one that counts. This is the one that will score you some points. And again, keep an eye on those drivers that you have not seen yet, because they have the most to lose. Because if they have a bad race here, Ryan, they got a whole lot less time to try to recover from it.
Absolutely. And just a refresher for those who are tuning in, right? This is the event breakdown. We're in the middle of the qualifier races right here. These guys are all working to earn some points so that they can make the big show on Saturday. Now, if you want to just jump to Saturday, if you're one of those guys who can't make it to these races, you could jump right in. However, those splits are determined first by the points scored, then your dirt road rating. So all the points by these guys getting scored tonight, they're going to get a little bit of priority there, then your dirt rating. So, snooze you lose. But Keenan, these guys right here are fighting for that top spot.
Yeah, and again, I'm almost confident that you can get an iRacing subscription right now and be able to get Dirt Road to 4.0 and be able to race with us on Saturday. You may not be hitting the giddy heights of top split, but it doesn't mean there's not going to be a ton of racing to be had. We've had 2 races this so far with over 100 entries. And Ryan, we've been able to touch on some new stuff, some old stuff, but we're getting ready for another great season of the eNASCAR College Series.
Absolutely. Grab a pencil, take some notes, and strap in for another exciting season of collegiate iRacing this fall. Tournaments will feature 100 of the fastest students from schools all across the U.S. and Canada. And Keenan, this is one of my favorite series, getting to watch my buddy James Pike and some of the others hop in and talk about this series. And one of the exciting parts about the college series this year, the introduction of IMSA with the Mustang Challenge cars. So usually we're in just the trucks. Now we're hopping in some Mustangs, into some Mustang GT4 machines on the road courses. And look at this paint schemes. Everyone has their university represented on the sides of these cars. The iRacing team does a phenomenal job. And if you're a student, you want to get into this, you want to represent your school, scan the QR code right there to register for the 2026 to 2027 season now. Get you some scholarship money, represent your school, build some school pride. It is... Man, I am so excited. I'm just so excited for all about this. And we're hopping into some off-road racing here, Keenan. And that's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm glad you said U.S. and Canada, but shout out to my boy Connor Urashak, was on the side of the country, but I'm a good boy from Calgary, able to make some waves last season. As we're making waves now, again, sprint race results, it is your main race qualifying. Brody Descher, it's been almost a curse, anybody starting on that far inside line. That has been Dane Culver twice, and he's not gotten the whole shot twice. So keep an eye on Brody Descher, keep an eye on Dane Culver as well, and everybody from 11th on back, Ryan, is going to be itching to move forward. I know I saw Brian Sora keep up on the mic about 14 times. I think he's going to be trying to move forward.
Well, and we talk about this land rush start, right? It's only 2 rows of cars, right? So you want to make sure that you're in that front group, because guess what? It's 10 wide and another group of 10 behind you. So if you're beyond 10th, congratulations. You're in the second row, starting behind a whole set of 10 trucks. That is a tough hill to climb.
Engines going as we are green with our second land rush start of the day and our main race here for our second race on Wednesday night. Again, not a great start from your pole sitter. That's Brody Descher to the inside, and they're already on top of each other. Miles Morse trying to make something happen to the inside. We survive. Oh, that's one truck around. I'm not quite sure that's the number 9. Oh. He's going to collect a bunch of different trucks as we have a bowling alley on Ponzi Turn 2.
We may not be at Watkins Glen, but we surely went bowling here at Crandon. We got a couple trucks barrel rolling, but Connor Berry, he emerges with the lead as he sends it all the way into the corner right here. Gonna get a nice little high side run there. Eke out to the lead with about a half truck length lead.
He did it again. Miles Morse to this morning started about last, moved his way up to 5th before we even crossed the start finish for the first time. Look where the number 18 truck is again. I think he was about 16th and is out of there in 7th. The land rush start is the great equalizer here at Crandon. As well, would you look who's in the lead? It's Connor Berry.
It's Connor Berry. And one of the other things that I'm looking at is, where's Dane? He's all the way back down in 11th. He was in the middle of all that chaos. He probably got banged around, turned around, whatever may have happened. We saw so many trucks go around, but nonetheless, Dane started third all the way back, and we got some contact for the lead.
Yeah, it's Dane's not afraid to throw those big sliders. I've seen that guy throw a slider in about 6 trucks at once. So he's not quite out of this, but if he's carrying some damage, it's going to be more difficult to be able to move his way up. It's crisis mitigation now for Dane Culver, the DC Dig setup shot machine, but for the lead now, a tale as old as time. Berry, Descher, what do they do? Do they start fighting right now, Ryan? If I was them, I'd say, hey, you can't bump draft, but let's just not fight. Let's hold our positions, and then we can fight just the 2 of us, maybe last 2 or 3 laps, instead of this battle of 3, 4, 5 trucks that are right breathing down their neck.
Well, we saw what happened when the 2 leaders started racing side by side at the end of that sprint race, right? It allowed third place to immediately close in, and he was right on the bumper of your second place machine of Connor Berry. So it's going to be really interesting to see if these guys do kind of heed your word there and say, hey, let's ride a little, let's get a little bit of a gap. But man, don't look now, but Drake in the number 3 spot, he is closing that gap ever so slightly.
I've raced with Drake Matag before. I'm going to be nice to him because he sent me setups before in the past. So, yes, my loyalty can be bought.
Favoritism.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's no slouch either. There's a reason he's Connor Berry's teammate on grid 1. There's a reason he's right there knocking on the door of that top 3, and they're trying to pull away, and it just is not enough. We've lost a ton of trucks already. That's David Ferguson that's in the pits. Kendrick Cargill is going to have 2 DNFs in a row. Sean Winkler is back in 15th. A lot happened there on that first lap.
Well, we talked about Cole Fisher having a bad race in that sprint. He's up to 6th in this race, so already a great recovery for Colton Fisher in the number 19 machine.
And we ride on with Hadley Boyce talking about people looking for an improvement over last night. Again, the New Zealander not really able to participate in our morning session, so it's all or nothing here in the 9 PMs. He didn't even get to finish yesterday, so if he just keeps that number 8 truck kind of clean, even if he drops back a couple positions, the SOF here, Ryan, is really high. It's going to be a lot of points for that number 8 truck.
Well, and that's one of the big things, is making sure that you position yourself further through the field, surviving the land rush there. But your top 3 have kind of established themselves, making top 4 with Hadley Boyce moving forward and more close to your 3rd position right there, fighting for a podium. It's going to be an interesting battle to see how this group continues to close in on each other in these waning laps.
Yeah, settling down here a little bit now as the fight in the middle of the field is not over. I was just about to say thank you, camera broadcast team. Hello? Somebody's
Clear.
GPS brought them to the Atlantic Ocean. I don't know what just happened there, but as we're fighting Miles Morris and Cody Retzlaff, dooring each other, they're pushing each other into Cowboy Corner. I think that was Connor Berry. That was Connor Berry. He got shipped in the middle of a Cowboy Corner. Drake Matag now to the lead. Brody Descher back to 3rd, and Connor Berry's the one whose GPS failed him there, and we saw him drive it backwards.
Apparently he got turned around in some contact there between your leaders.
So we're going to take a look. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
We're just going to take a look at this right here to start lap 1, turn 1. The whole field, they make it through there. And then right there you see Dane get turned around. So he was one of those drivers that was sideways. Had trucks on top of him, beside him, barrel rolling around him. But my goodness.
That was P everybody. That was our parking lot, the first one of the year, and there will be more. That will not be enough. But Connor Berry on a recovery drive now. Talked about it a little bit earlier. He has not raced yet. I think he's only really available to run the 9 PMs during the week. So this is a big race for him. P5 still not bad, but if he could be able to pick off Nathan Minster here. But Nathan Minster has been in the middle of almost every fight. I've said the same thing about Chase Spaulding, but Nathan Minster has been involved in about everything. So I know he's got short course Jesus behind him, but he will not be afraid to put that number 816 truck wherever it needs to be to keep that number 2 behind him.
And you see right there, I mean, like you said, not afraid to put it where it needs to be, taking a bit of a defensive line, a little bit of lower line there as he just nicks the outside wall with his right rear. That's going to definitely open the inside for Connor Berry into this tight left-hander right here. Connor's going to send it on in there. Will he pull the slider? Yes, he will. Clear enough. See ya. He's going to make the move. And this is it right here, Keenan. This is the move that happened to Connor Berry. Oh!
and then you can't lift. You really can't
No.
lift. 'Cause if you lift, then you just get freight trained by everybody behind you. It looks like such a dirty move, but that's just short course racing. Connor going just a little bit. Actually, he had the line going into Cowboy. It was Brody Descher that went in way too deep, ended up tagging Connor, and yeah, they'll have some words of discord after this, I'm sure.
I'm sure they will, but I mean, Connor Berry already making a good recovery back up to P4, and truthfully, we're halfway through this race here. It's not out of the equation here to see Connor Berry fight for a podium position here. We know he's fast. We know he's capable of winning this race. That might be out of the equation, but getting a podium definitely is not out of the cards.
I'm not quite sure. I think these three just decide to start boxing, that anything is still possible. We've seen crazier things happen here in the Crandon World Championship presented by Track Racer, but their gap is starting to open as those top three, that's Matag, Boyce, and Descher, just start to be able to put the hammer down, clock in some good laps, and pull away. Ladies and gentlemen, we thought that average pace was going to be maybe 16.5, 16.8. The top four are all in the low 15s. They are flying out there.
Well, and that just goes to show the caliber of drivers that are showing up for these qualifying races here this week. They know that they have to show up and show out so that they put themselves towards the front of the grid on Saturday, and they're doing absolutely that. Despite getting turned, Connor Berry continuously is one of the fastest guys. You see right there, a minute 15.2. That is the fastest of your top four.
That's almost pole pace from Connor Berry, and he's carrying damage. It's not the end of the world. Obviously, these trucks can take a lick and keep on ticking, but once you start losing body panels, there's two really big straightaways here at Crandon. It will cost you some time, and then obviously if you're carrying wheel damage, toe damage, that's not good for the car. Speaking of damage, you see the huge bunt to the middle of Daniel Solo's machine there. He's got some front-end damage, and he's being chased down by Ant 8%.
Yeah, but despite the damage, still holding strong. P7, respectable day right there. Honestly, if you could leave here with a destroyed truck and a top 10, you know what? I'll wipe the dust off the coat and call that a good one.
Yeah, I really can't complain. And again, there's so much more time this week to be able to improve on that position, be able to score some more points. But any solid top 10, especially with how strong this field is right now, is not something you can really be disappointed about. As the battle for the lead has now started to heat up. Matag, again, still comfortable in that P1 position, but Hadley Boyce starting to fall back into the clutches of Brody Descher.
And Matag, he was the second fastest truck when we look at those lap times there, as far as I remember. He was the second fastest truck of that group. So you have Connor Berry, who's the fastest truck in fourth, and then you have your second fastest truck in the lead. So we got a bit of an interesting sandwich here where we're going to have a lot of guys really trying to pull some brave moves. Hadley, he's not too far back of Matag right there. So if you're Hadley, are you setting him up for a late move, a late lunge in the waning laps of this race? I am very intrigued to see what happens.
Yeah, what do you do if you're Hadley Boyce? Do you kind of just take P2 and kind of try to settle down? Oh, okay, speaking of settling down, we're not settling down anywhere back here. That's Cody Redslap, a driver that's been very active today specifically. This is his second race of the evening as he is trying to fight to improve, be able to break that top 10. Scott Merrick, who has been doing so well this week, he's in the costume. We bullied him into it. I told him to go to Spirit Halloween yesterday. It looks like they made a trip. As Scott Merrick, P3, 2 years in a row. We'll be able to see if he can repeat that or do better on Saturday. Oh, that's a wall, Scott. I don't know if that's good for the truck.
You see his face, he kind of let out a bit of a cringe there. He knew that was not what he needs to be doing. So far, holding on to a quiet P10 despite all the damage on that machine. Impressive. I'd like to call it a recovery, I guess, despite all that. Keenan, I mean, goodness, look at that, no fenders. We're modified racing.
I was going to say he might be leading the modified class, but I think we have a lot more modifieds in this field than we may anticipate, as we've got 3 laps remaining here in your Wednesday night session, your third qualifier for the Crandon Championship. Hadley Boyce still stalking Drake Matag in the number 13 truck as we ride with both of these battles. The battle for first is definitely not over, and it even looks like Connor Berry is starting to enter the frame. It was only a matter of time. 3 laps to go. Can he make himself in this car? Can he? Oh, okay, we have 1 truck spun out. I think that's
a 12.
11. That's a 12. That's Ant 8%.
Eberson gets turned around there. Don't know what that was. Maybe got a little sideways, a little bit of contact. Regardless, everybody keeps it moving. But you see right here, your top 3 all in a line. Your second place machine of Hadley gets into the outside wall. Still hovering around a truck length behind your leader. Will we see some elbows get nudged out?
lost Brian Sawyer and Miles Morris as well. Unfortunately, we are down to just 14 trucks, and Sean Winkler is in P14. A horrible start to his trying to defend his championship as 3 wide there for 9th place against it seems like right about where we are. I think that's Ant Beavers. That's for 10th now. He gets chipped wide by the 7 of Scott Merrick. There's a reason he's used to being up towards the front. He knows how to throw a fender or two, even if he doesn't have any.
I was about to say, fender or no fender, we talk about not having fenders. I know there's buggy classes in off-road racing. I feel like we got a couple of those out here racing around Crandon here tonight, but nonetheless, an absolute brawl from your about 7th to 10th range here.
That's been kind of the theme of the week, is everybody from 10th on forward kind of understands the game. They know the rules and they play within it. But then everybody 10th on back is like, you know what? I got nothing to lose, really. And they just start throwing sliders, doing the heck out of each other, and doing whatever they can do. I think they're just trying to have some fun back there. But we saw it last night with Dane Culver. You get into the door quite a little bit too much. There's still an incident liver here, Ryan.
I was going to say, you look at this battle for 12th, and look, at the end of the day, these guys aren't fighting for points. They're trying to get those points to set themselves up for Saturday, as we got a clear enough situation right there. Goodness gracious.
Zach Blanche on the wall. He gets the pass done on the 3 of Chase Spalding and throws himself into the wall on Potawatomi, or on Ponce turn 2, rather, as we now approach what is our final lap. And look who's entered the picture. That's Connor Berry in P3. He gets the move done on Hadley Boyce. He goes from 2nd to 4th, and it's a 4-way dance for the lead.
And look at how tiny Connor Berry is to these corners, these tight little hairpin corners. He is glued to the inside there. We have 3 trucks under a blanket, make it 4. Is he going to duck out? Slide job.
Defensive move from the 4. I think that was Brody Descher, but Drake Matag going to beat a P1, trying to cut off Brody Descher. That's just going to slow both of them down. That's Connor Berry entering the fray now. We're side by side through Potawatomi turn number 1. This is not over. We've seen grooves happen here through Ponte turn 2. All 3 with the Bubba Scrub over the jump, and that's Connor up to P2. He's got 2 corners left to make something happen.
Cue the Jaws music here. Connor Berry is all over the back of Matag. Is he going to make a big lunge to the inside? He's going to look. He's going to get to the door. He's not going to make it happen. Drake Matag is going to come off the final corner and get the win here tonight in the feature. What a brawl. We're 3 wide for 2nd.
Who's got P2? Connor Berry under threat from 2 trucks right now. That's Descher to the inside. He parks the center. Brody Descher from P4 to P2 on the last corner, and Connor Berry is somehow able to go backwards and save it for a podium. He's in P3. What a finish!
My hands are in the sky right now, Caden. What in the world did we just see? What a brawl.
Absolute cinema. Crandon
Holy
delivers
smokes.
once again. If you only started watching today, you've seen 2 classic finishes back to back. Ryan, it's still Wednesday. We still got all week.
We have several days, several races to go. I cannot believe it. Drake Matag gets it done. Holy smokes. Connor Berry, we saw him backwards just about, Keenan. He was just about turned around in that hairpin, and he was able to get it straightened back out, fight for the win in those waning corners, and was able to get up to a podium spot. What an impressive run.
Yeah, really well composed, really mature drive from Connor Berry. I know he probably wanted more than 3rd. Hadley Boyce, again, someone who had a chance at a podium. P4, still nothing to snuff at, but Nathan Minster against solid finish. Cole Fisher finally finished a race on all 4 wheels. If he comes home at P6, Daniel Solo up there as well. And then Dane Culver going from a win, or going from 2 sprint wins to unfortunately P8. That's not going to be where he wants to be. Still a good finish, but he wants more, I guarantee it.
And back here, you see all the trucks that were collected and all those wrecks, Keaton. We saw trucks barrel rolling. We saw trucks on top of other trucks. We saw trucks upside down on top of another truck that was upside down. We saw all sorts of chaos. So you see right there, your bottom 5 all out of this race early, and you get to the back right there. We saw Ant Meeperson. He was one of those trucks that had a bit of a moment there. Just a couple mistakes, get you shuffled back. Still just trying to collect those points at the end of the day.
Yeah, again, a big story, Sean Winkler there. P13, he needs something, and he needs something fast. We'll have to check in with him tomorrow if possible. But we're going to check in with the number 4 truck. First of all, Brody Descher. He's been having a great week so far, coming home P2. I know, Brody, that's probably not where you wanted to finish, but first chance we've had to talk to you all week. Talk us through just your event up to this point so far.
Yeah, didn't start out great. The first event of the week, I went into it. I did a lot of practice this week to get set up for this and had a good setup. So I didn't start out too well. Got kind of wrecked in the first corner last night, but came in this morning, came in hot, got a really good jump and was able to win this morning. And then tonight, kind of repeat. That was a crazy race. I didn't mean to get into Connor in the beginning there. Kind of ruined a lot for us. So I do apologize for that, but I know stuff happens like that. I'm glad, I'm really happy with the second place and the top four that we had. Me, Drake, Connor, and Hadley. That's pretty sweet to see. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped with what we got going on here. So we'll be back the rest of the week and especially Saturday.
Everybody who started pole for the main race all the way on the inside has just not gotten the jump. Is there something there? Is the surface just not gripping there? Can you talk us through what happened there on the start?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really know. Dane had the same issue. He had two really bad starts so far this week, starting from the pole, and that was my first time starting on the pole, and kind of the same deal. I don't know. It hasn't been like that before. So something is a little bit different, but I just can't really put my finger on what it is.
So with the event format that we have here, obviously we're leading into Saturday, the Super Sessions. Those are the big ones. Those are the ones that you want to win. You've got 3 races under your belt now. Obviously that it wasn't a DNF, but not a great finish on Tuesday. What's your game plan for the rest of the week?
Yeah, so obviously with these last 2 finishes being as good as they were, I'm super happy where I'm at. I should be definitely locked into the Saturday night. So I think I'm gonna take the rest of the week, laid back. If I feel like running, I'll run. I might run in the morning. I don't really know. But yeah, so I don't really have to worry the rest of the week, I don't think. So I'm gonna kind of lay back. But I'm definitely probably gonna come back for to try to get some practice before Saturday for sure.
Well, it's nice to hear from you for the first time this week. It's nice to start finally getting your last name right. That's great. Really excited about that. And we'll see you Saturday if we don't see you for the rest of the week.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate it. I want to thank all the people that make this possible. I first and foremost, I gotta thank Anthony Villagran with AVR Designs for getting this sick, sweet truck ready for this week. Looks really good on the broadcast with the chrome and everything. EPI, Combat Clean Sim Racing team I'm running with them, Carson, all those guys. Colton, Sean, Ashton, everybody else. Anybody I missed, thank you guys so much, and we'll be back.
And that's Brody Descher, your number 2 finisher this evening, Ryan. This is your first race of the week that you're able to watch with us live. It was something. We had a close finish. We had the biggest wreck of the week. You pretty well got all of Crandon Championship kind of condensed into one little package.
The best part about that is it came down to an absolute brawl between 4 elite short course racing drivers here on the iRacing service, right? We saw the comeback story of Connor Berry trying to fight for the win. We saw Matag fighting for the win. It was just it's so poetic to kind of watch in all the chaos. You have some of the best racing on the service, and that is what the Crandon Championship brings to the table.
And you can follow along with us on social media all week this week. We'll be posting the updated points at 10 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. We'll be able to see how tonight's race shook up the point standings going into Saturday. And we are not even halfway done racing as we're able to talk with your winner, as I think Ryan's standing down there with Drake Matag.
Drake Matag, you get the win here tonight. We saw that you had to really get your elbows out here for the win. Talk us about those last few laps trying to fend off those hard-charging drivers behind you.
Yeah, went into the night not feeling the best, and then I guess I was quick enough to go P2 in qualifying. And then in the heat race, had the weirdest thing. My paddles stopped working, and my sequential shifter wouldn't work because the paddles were tripping out. So I had to pull my wheel off mid-heat race, put it back on twice, maybe 3 times, and then ended up P6, had a terrible starting spot, ended up just mapping my sequential shifter only, so something completely new than what I'm used to. Was able to get it done. Truck was a rocket, honestly. I don't know how I did that. I came away somehow P3 out of the whole shot, and just kind of put some laps down, and then all of a sudden a couple drivers got into it in front of me, made it around them somehow, and just kept taking off laps. It felt like the longest race ever for sure. Just kind of hung in there, and all of a sudden everyone was there giving me bumpers. I was just being a roadblock for sure. Couldn't have got it done without Connor over at Grid 1, all the sponsors, the PV Sims simulators, Boozy Jerky, Brim's Hats, and everyone that puts in the work.
Absolutely. And, you know, we were talking to the second place finisher earlier. Will we see more of you this week? Are you going to kind of lounge back, watch everybody kind of go after it for these remaining qualifying races? And how you feeling heading into Saturday?
I'm feeling pretty good, honestly. I'm not sure if I'll do too many more of these. Got some things to take care of before we go back to Wisconsin for real life Crandon World Cup. So not too much will go into Saturday. We'll race Saturday, but just show up, have fun, and do our best.
Absolutely. And, you know, I know you're fighting for the championship on here, but I could only assume that you might want to look at getting one of them piston cups that's back there in the background. That's pretty cool right there.
Yeah, it's the iRacing short course signature propellers cup for we did a Pro 4 race in Long Beach in the iRacing short course series.
Awesome. Well, that's your winner tonight, Drake Batak. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us. And Kanan, what a race. What a night.
Yeah, again, you got spoiled, and you got to see a little bit of everything. Close finish. We had 3 wide going over the line for second, and we are just getting started. Again, this is open to every single drive with the D4.0 or higher on dirt road. Not hard to get it. You'll be able to drive some of the cross cars that are still relatively new to the service to be able to get your way up there in safety rating. 2 time slots a day. You will compete to earn points during the week, and points will be scored by finishing position and strength of field. So the higher the strength of field, the more points you will earn. And then all leads to Saturday. Super Saturday, as we call it, August 29th. That doesn't matter if you score points or not. That's just going to decide the seeding for your split. So you could show up on Saturday having not run one race this week and still find yourself in a barn burner. The format for the races do not change. And if you participated recently in the iRacing Indy 500, it's very similar to that, except for lap time, you're going for overall points. And ladies and gentlemen, we will be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, August 27th, with another one of these qualifying races. We are here all week, flag-to-flag coverage of this entire event. So we'll have both races tomorrow at 11 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're looking for some way to spend your evening, you can head on over to one of our newest drops here for iRacing Studios. That's iRacing Arcade. Came up with the console update. That is the PS5, Xbox Series X and S. And of course, it is applying to Steam as well. 4 brand new tracks, 4 brand new vehicles, and couch co-op. So you can grab a pizza and play with your friends, and consequences in the same room.
Man, I love me some iRacing Arcade. Me and my buddies hop on Discord playing the game. We like to call it cute iRacing, right? I mean, look at it. It's adorable. Look at these cars. Look at the little characters. They're adorable. A shout out Brad Perez for that name. But no, it's just such a fun game. Always fun to hop on the computer, just have a good time with friends. And another thing that race fans could get excited for, NASCAR 26. NASCAR 26 will launch September 18th on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and on PC through Steam. NASCAR 26 is available now for pre-order, with Standard Edition at $59.99 and Gold Edition at $79.99. One of the amazing things about iRacing is new and improved game modes, including enhanced career mode with new facilities, new graphics updates, standalone modes with the chase, trading modes, cross-platform multiplayer. Keenan, it is so exciting to see just how far the gaming side of iRacing has come. We saw how incredible NASCAR 25 is, and I'm itching to get my hands on NASCAR 26 because I think there's going to be a familiar guy that's going to be in the game there, so I'm excited to be back in the game.
Could there perchance be a Ryan Vargas? I was going to say, yeah.
Perchance. We'll see.
Be able to throw your favorite iRacing short course commentator directly into the wall. Yeah, no, excited to see that. Also excited to see Naval Base Coronado come back. I think that's amazing to see cars going down into turn 2 and all 4 wheels off the ground. That was fantastic. A lot of 4 wheels off the ground tonight as well. Again, thank you for joining me tonight, Ryan. It's been a treat to have you here in the booth. Best of luck in your future endeavors. Again, if those are unaware, Monster Dam driver now. You're all over the place. And also, again, thank you for joining us this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, but it's all building up for Saturday. We'll have points out for you at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and you still have an opportunity to participate in this race. Congratulations to Drake Matag. He shows up, he wins right away in that Grid 1 machine, and Connor Barry there as well, trying to be able to fight with his teammate. But Drake Matag getting the win tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you tomorrow. Thank you very, very much for joining us on behalf of the entire iRacing staff here with the broadcast team. My name is McKinney Kuzin. We'll see you on the dirt tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Take care and have yourself a great night.